Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Horological Happy Hour. I'm Justin.
I'm Rob.
We have a jam-packed show for you guys this week. We got a ton to get through. We're going to talk about some new arrivals. We're going to talk about Dubai Watch Week that's going on right now. We're going to recap our predictions from the Decade 1 Phillips auction that happened 2 weeks ago. And we're also going to try and hit on our favorite 3 Vacheron models of all time, if we can get to it.
You guys really enjoyed when we did our top 3 Longa models, which came from a question from our followers on Instagram. And so we thought, since you all enjoyed that, that we would branch it out to some other brands. And so for today, we've picked Vacheron. And we have some interesting choices there.
Yeah, we got some good stuff.
Yeah, it should be fun. So stick around for that.
After the last show, we found ourselves, we ran dry. We didn't have any booze left. So we went out and we grabbed...
So I bought the greatest scotch known to mankind.
And then I got what is actually the greatest scotch known to mankind. We couldn't choose which one to open, though. So?
The first in the comments to say which is better, Laphroaig or Lagavulin, that's what we're cracking. So
hit us
jump
up.
in there. Justin's going to take a look-see. And spelling doesn't matter. I don't think I can spell Laphroaig.
But don't make us wait too long here. I'm extremely thirsty. It's been a long day. Let's get this going. All right.
Which one will we break the seal?
While we're waiting on somebody to tell us which one to open, we're going to jump right into our new arrivals because they're ridiculous. If you haven't checked out our website recently, I strongly encourage you to head over there after the show and check out our new arrivals page because it's bananas right now.
We've gotten some things that our watches...
Sorry. Smith Time Exchange, Laphroaig, let's go.
Yep.
You just made Rob's day. So.
Yes, you did. You and I are friends.
All right.
Hit me up on that next purchase. I'll take care of you.
Whoa, Robert. Anyways, hopefully you guys are also pouring yourself something delicious.
There it is.
I mean, I'm not mad because I also love Laphroaig. So I was telling Rob that anytime I open a bottle of it at home, my wife yells at me because she can smell it from the other side of the house, but I don't really care. So here we go. All right. We're going to dive right in. Thank you, my friend.
Sir.
Actually, we need to cheers first.
We need to cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to all of you at home. Thank you for
guys.
joining us.
Appreciate you joining for sure.
Just the nose alone.
It's so good.
It is the best.
A little sweeter than Lagavulin, but I'll take it.
A little better, you mean?
Oh, get out of here. All right.
A little better.
New arrivals. All right. So, first one that I want to talk about because I'm leading, I'm in control right now. We got to talk about the Cartier Tank Guichet that we just got in. So, obviously, huge Cartier nerd. I love Cartier so much, and I've been waiting for them to bring this watch back.
This is like one of those Cartier where, like, if you don't know this level of Cartier, somebody showed you like the vintage version of this watch, you would think this is fake or something.
Yeah.
You would be like, that is the craziest thing I have ever seen.
Or you wouldn't think it was a Cartier. It just, in my opinion, it still sticks to kind of like the wild-shaped, funky Cartier design brief, but it's just so different than, say, a Benoit or a Crash or even like a Cloche or something like that.
To me, this is the opposite of all of those watches, because all of those have like this like very French, very like sexy, very, it's like this is cold and kind of hard and almost, it's brutalism.
Yeah, it is.
This is a brutalist watch right here.
Well, it's still very deco. It's a very kind of like brutalistic, I guess, very like spare interpretation of an Art Deco design brief. So anyway, so this was launched at this year's Watches and Wonders. It's the latest model in Cartier's revived Privé collection that they started a few years ago, and they've come out with some incredible pieces. From the Tank Normal to the Chinois, the Cloche. There's been a whole bunch of different pieces that they've revived designs from their back catalog. But this one, in my opinion, blows all of them away. I've said it a few times, that their new Privé collection stuff in my opinion, it kind of loses a little bit of like that vintage elegance because just by like virtue
Sometimes
of
the sizes are
a little bit bigger. It's a little thicker. It's a little funkier. It just doesn't have that same elegance.
Yeah.
And this just nails it. It's so spot on.
This I wouldn't know the difference, right, between the vintage one and this, because this looks just like all the photos we've seen of the real vintage ones. I love the austerity of it. I love the, like, and then the little touches, like the fact that the fonts are red to let you know it's platinum. I'm dying to see the yellow gold one because I think that would be the one. I love that they did it on a Tank. It's perfect.
I was going to say, so they made this, there's a couple different variations. You can get rose, yellow, or platinum, and then there's, none of them are technically limited, even though they're going to be made in incredibly limited.
But you're not going to get one.
Incredibly limited numbers. They also made an actual limited piece in platinum. It's called the Oblique, and that's the one that you'll see that has, the minutes window is at an angle. Just killer.
And then it's offset to the hours, I think, is in the corner instead of in the middle.
And I kind of want to go back to what you said about, the platinum red, very cool little detail. But then they also did the yellow gold, the font is green.
It's green, and they put it on a green strap, and it looks like it's incredible.
I mean, usually platinum is the one that that I gravitate towards, but I agree with you that I think the yellow gold with the green is going to be like next level.
Would be cool.
Amazing.
I wish they did steel. It'd be so amazing to get a steel one of those with just the blue font. Like
that would be insane.
It'd be Anyway.
So it takes inspiration from a model from 1928.
Yeah.
So there you go, classic deco. The apertures, those high polish apertures, around the windows, that's actually hand finished. Because Cartier said that they weren't able. The only way to get the finish on that angle and at that shape and everything was by hand, which I love. I love that they're still, they're putting that level of care into these pieces.
Yeah. And it's a jump hour. I don't know if the originals were jump or if they were wandering hours, because I wouldn't be surprised
I don't know either.
If they instead of hands, had the discs on there and it became a wandering hour.
I should know that, but I don't.
The difference being, obviously a jump hour, when it hits the top of the hour, it clicks over and jumps and stays centered the whole time, versus a wandering, which is, instead of having the hand there, you'd have a disc, and you would see it move across the window slowly. But this one is a jump, so there's also some movement stuff going on in there too, and they've kept it slim. It's perfect. I don't want to talk the whole time about it, but it's perfect.
I mean, I could easily, yeah. I'm so excited that we just got one of these. It just came in out of the blue. It's another watch that I feel like just doesn't exist in the real world. I just have not seen them out there. So super, super, super cool. That's going to be hitting our website fairly soon.
Any other week, that would probably be the coolest thing on the table. But not this week.
One of the top, yeah, I know, right? Dang, it's kind of crazy.
Not this week.
So we talked about the 5004P that we had 2 weeks ago, and
which is already gone.
Which is already gone. We waxed poetic about that watch, and I basically swooned over it and said that it's one of my favorite all-time Patek references. And then we have this piece.
So the 5004, for those of you who missed it last week, this is a Patek perpetual calendar chronograph with a split second. So you'll notice it has this monster crown on there with an extra button in there. And that's what will split your chronograph seconds apart, originally intended so that you could either get a lap time on something or to time two events simultaneously.
Could you imagine timing your just actually using this as a lap timer? That's hilarious.
Like you're the official timekeeper of the Olympics.
Let me consult my sport watch real quick. Yeah, no, killer.
So this is the older version of this. This has the Lemania base caliber in the back, although it's pretty unrecognizable
Heavily
by the
modified.
time Patek is finished with it. There's a lot more going on in these split seconds. And this one is unique because this was not the original dial of this watch. This watch originally would have come with a silver dial.
This one left the factory with a silver dial.
With the Arabic numerals. And then whoever owned this was a heavy enough Patek customer that they said, I would really like a champagne dial with the tacky scales and the Roman 12 and the dots for the...
I was going to say the pips.
I mean, this is one of a kind. This is incredible. You're never going to see another one of these. They kept all the cool typewriter fonts. It's everything
perfection.
about this watch is amazing.
Again, we talked about the platinum last week, and we were both blown away by it. And then we have this. We actually have two insane 5004s live on the site right now. We have this one, and then we have a yellow gold black dial that's also just monster cool. But this, for some reason, this combination of the yellow gold with the champagne is just insane. The other really, really cool part about this is that from everything we can tell and we can deduce from the paperwork and the movement number and everything, this is likely to be the 5th 5004 produced.
Whoa.
So the example with serial number ending in 500 is the first one, and that's in the Patek Philippe Museum. And this one has the same, so first 3 numbers, and it's 505.
5 later.
So like, it's incredibly early. It's gorgeous. It's such a special watch. It's, like we said, it's kind of like the golden era for both of us, at least, of Patek.
The one thing I want to say, and that we hear a lot of people talk about with this watch, is they say that the proportions aren't as good because it's still 36, right? It's a 36 mil case, but it is quite stocky.
37.5.
It's quite stocky because obviously there's a lot going on in that movement, so they needed the height on this. And people are like, oh, the proportions are all wrong. It's too thick for how short it is, blah, blah, blah. None of that is true.
No.
I actually think
yeah.
it's 37.
Yeah, I thought
that
so.
Doesn't surprise me because of how many kind of levels there are on that bezel as it works its way out towards the mid case. I think the proportions of this watch are part of what make it so amazing.
Agreed.
The way this sits on the wrist it's very cool. I don't know how to describe it. And the fact that it tapers so beautifully coming up towards the crystal and kind of tapers down towards the bottom, it's a masterpiece of a case.
I mean,
it's so incredibly charming.
Like the 5204, the kind of the modern iteration of this, it maintains kind of the same look visually, you know what I mean, just on a larger scale, but for me personally, it just doesn't work as well. There's something about the verticality of this case and the way the bezel has like multiple levels and the crystal, like it's a really, really special and unique piece.
They didn't just take a 3970 and put a more complicated
No.
right? They built a whole new watch for this. Whereas in other brands will do that. They'll just reuse the same case and they'll find ways of working around making new movements and new dials fit.
Yeah.
In this case, this is a completely bespoke watch, and I think that's part of the reason that this watch is now gaining so much traction on the market because, not that there's perpetual calendar split seconds before that, but if you think about perpetual calendar chronos and you want like the era before this, it's a $24.99 and that's $1 million.
Yeah, right.
So,
good luck.
this priced very high, but under $1 million is a deal for the only one. The only one in the world.
Insane. So check that out on our website.
Yep.
Insane piece. Let's go ahead and, Rob, and jump over to the next one.
Something completely different.
It is. It's funny. I realized that we have a bunch of jump hours on the table today.
It's so wild, right? 2 jump hours.
No, 3. That too.
Oh, that does jump. Because the one dial is a jump.
Yep.
2.5.
Oh, jeez.
So this is the Chopard L.U.C. Quattro Spirit 25. And we have seen the white gold black version. And this is the first time we've gotten this rose gold with the white. This is an enamel dial, and this is a jump hour. It's not the automatic L.U.C, which is, Chopard's premier movement, but it is a beautiful
that they do.
manual wind L.U.C, beautifully finished. But this watch is all about the dial. I love this Art Deco style hand. I love the font for the numerals and the painted on the enamel. The jump hour at 6 is cool.
It is cool.
Because everybody does jump hours at 12.
Yeah.
So I thought that was super interesting. It's a perfect size. Like, they made 100 of these.
Was it 100 of both the white gold and the rose?
Yes.
Interesting.
Because
Okay.
I think it was 2 different years. I think they did the rose, they ran that 100, and then the white gold black was released
really?
later.
Okay.
But we've seen a lot of really cool Chopards, and they do make incredible watches that a lot of people overlook. And I think this is probably my favorite Chopard we have ever had.
I agree.
Either version.
I personally prefer the white gold black. It's just so striking, but I really like, this has like a similar but very different feel than the white gold black. Like that one feels much more, I don't know, not dressy. I don't know how to describe why it feels different to me, but like visually, the lighter, the lighter dial and everything, it just like it wears differently in my opinion. But I really, really like it. I love on the case band. You have that almost like bulbous case band, and it's brushed. You can see it there. So you have all these different textures. But yeah, the enamel dial, jump hour. Like I've said it so many times that I want a jump hour so bad, and trying to find the right one. What it's going to be. Yeah. And if they made this in a smaller case size, I would be all over it. But I think they made this watch has to be this size.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you look at the case back on this, there is no space for this watch to be any smaller. Right. I think they actually made it as, at the absolute limit that they could. Like, you really couldn't go any smaller. There's not any room left in this. This is an 8-day power reserve manual wind. You can see there's 2 barrels here. So it's not a slouch. It's not big for the sake of being big. And I think the proportions of the dial are perfect. Like the hand, it goes right to the track, not beyond it, not in front of it. It's like everything's just right in there.
Well, kind of like you said, like I even love the typography, the font that they use. It's very it's very deco, and it's not too formal. Like I don't know. It's such an interesting watch. It'd be such a cool
daily watch.
It would.
Especially like if you wear a jacket and a tie every day or something. Like, what a cool daily watch that is.
Rare.
I love it.
Rare, unique. Phenomenal. Yeah. Like also, again, like you already said, Chopard's L.U.C. department, like what they do, the quality of the movements that they craft, they make really interesting pieces, and it's very much an if you know kind of watch. People that know what that watch is, if they see it on your wrist, it's absolutely going to be like a nerd magnet where people are going to go to it and want to talk to you about it.
But it's also not a watch that screams from the wrist.
No, not
right?
at all.
Which to me is very cool as well. Like if you're out at a bar or a restaurant and you're wearing that watch, it's not like, it's not like this date
which we'll get to
here on the table. It's, that's like discretion and subtlety, but if a watch person sees it, they'd be like, whoa, that's cool. And I enjoy both sides, right? I'd love to wear this as well, don't get me wrong. But I think that I love it. I'll shut up because we're gonna go too long.
All right, next up, Rob, I'm actually just realizing that you also brought some heat this week. Like it wasn't just me bringing all the six-figure watches.
This time.
Rob actually showed up with some crazy stuff. Next up, another absolute monster of a watch. We have the FP Journe Octa Chronographe Ruthenium.
This to me is so cool. I think this is the true Journe chronograph. I know the mono pusher is amazing. I know the movement is really good. I know that it's typical Journe incredibleness. But to me, this is the Journe chronograph.
Oh, I agree.
These never come up in the regular iteration.
First of all,
let alone
the Ruthenium is 99 total pieces. They made it from 02 to 06. And it was took them that long to make 99 pieces, and that was it.
And that's this dial treatment here, and I'm trying to show you, it's a little tough in the studio lights, but you can see it's very dynamic. It's got this beautiful texture that's reminiscent of the original like gold dial, like Journe tourbillons and resonances. And then it can go from like a really bright silver to almost black looking in certain lights.
So it's called ruthenium, which is actually a rare metal that's like pretty closely related, I guess, to platinum. And it's known and kind of revered for its durability, its hardness, and its resistance to corrosion and chemical reactions under heat and other situations.
This has the brass movement in it.
Yep.
Which is also, it's funny because basically every watchmaker makes their movements out of brass because it's very easy to work with. But for Journe, that was the beginning of the production. And those were rhodium plated. I had to make sure I said the right R because we've got rhodium and ruthenium. So those were rhodium plated. So the brass movements are actually silver in color.
So actually, I believe these movements are ruthenium treated as well. Yeah, because this is actually, if you look at it, it's quite a bit darker than the normal brass movements.
So he put ruthenium on the movement.
I'm pretty sure
that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like Rob is. It's actually really funny. So like when I remember back when I first got into watches and first was working at EWC and got to play or handle my first brass movement Journe. I remember looking at it and being like, wait a minute, this is brass. It doesn't this isn't brass. Yeah. Not realizing that all of his brass movements are rhodium or like this one ruthenium treated, and his rose gold movements are the ones that look like brass. So it's confusing, but Just like you said, this is what I think of when I think of Journe Chrono. Yeah. It has the earlier look to it as opposed to the newer pieces. Yeah. Just amazing. 40 mil case with the brass movement, so it's a little bit of like a transitional in between piece. But man, 99 pieces, really special, really rare.
And just a cool complication. And this is what I think Journe does best, is he says, okay, I'm going to make a chronograph. And he doesn't just make your standard chronograph. Mm-hmm. He makes this wonky, off-center, it's so cool. Nobody else would approach a chronograph like this.
Also, flyback, big date, right? with big date with instantaneous change, which we didn't even mention. You know what I mean? The more you look at this watch, the more you unpack it, the better it gets. You have those, like the white gold Guichet sub-dials for the time.
The blued hands. Yeah.
It's so funky. It's so kind of wonky. It's really cool.
Love that
I love
piece.
it.
All right, let's do
we got to
one
keep
more.
going. All right, which one do you want to do to finish with, Rob?
I brought out an amazing day date because I love day dates and I love sparkle and diamonds, but I think we're going to skip that because I think we should talk about the Duometre travel time, because this is a watch that people like to overlook, and it's very silly.
We feel like we've talked about it a few times where the level of watchmaking that you get from the Duometre line is pretty ridiculous. And this is it's actually called the unique travel time. It's not a piece unique. It is a limited edition. It's 200 total pieces, but this is a really interesting travel time. So if you're familiar with traditional world times, like a Louis Cartier derived world time, you get that city ring with 24 different time zones.
Yeah.
And if you are familiar with a globe or how time zones, you'll know there are actually 38 time zones.
Justin, everybody knows the Earth is flat.
38 time zones, and also there are non-standard time zones. Like there's I believe it's Indian Standard Time that is GMT plus 5.5, which with a normal world time you can't account for. There's just nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
The way that JLC decided to attack this is to create a watch that has two completely independent dials there. You have your home time on the right and your local time on the left, and they are completely independent of each other.
Yeah. You have two barrels.
Correct.
You'll notice there's two power reserves at the bottom on this side and this side, and the hands correspond. So if you look, the red hand corresponds with the side here on the red hand, and the blued hand corresponds with the blued hands. And I mean, you're getting I have heard people say these movements were originally designed for Longa.
That doesn't surprise me in the
I would
slightest.
kind of believe it.
Yeah.
They've obviously treated it very differently to put it in a Jaeger. But I mean, these things, for the price that we sell any of the Duometre series, they're incredible value. You get absolute monster watchmaking from one of the greatest watch houses in the world. You get this beautiful tremblage finish on the dial. So I love the Duometre to begin with, but this version kicks it up even more and makes it even better.
This is my favorite one that I've ever seen.
It's incredible.
Again, the combination of that globe, so that pop of color, plus the tremblage style, plus in the local time you get a jump hour, which is the half jump hour that Rob was commenting on earlier. It's just so visually interesting, and it's also so technically advanced, and you can do so much with it. It's just so capable.
But it's no worse than any normal Longa.
No.
It's easier to wear than a datograph. It's easier to wear than a Zeitwerk. I could wear this as a guy who generally wears smaller watches.
To be honest, this is probably a larger watch that I wouldn't have a problem wearing as well. It would be big on me, but it doesn't really matter because
the juice is worth the squeeze.
100%. So, like we said, we got a lot to get to. We did not get to that RBR. We also have literally 200 other insane new arrivals on our website right now. So go ahead, head over to our website, check out all the new stuff that we just added, because it's crazy. We have a lot more good stuff coming too. So keep an eye on there.
We do.
All right. Well, moving right along.
The news.
We're gonna hit on some news. We need to talk about Dubai Watch Week that is going on right now. Started yesterday. I believe it runs through Sunday. And it's kind of turned into
a week.
Huh?
It's not a week.
I know. Dubai Watch 4 days, 5 days, whatever.
Doesn't have the same ring.
It doesn't have the same ring. But it's cool. I mean, I love that now, the watch the watch calendar is no longer just Watches and Wonders in the spring.
Right. We don't. It used to be you'd wait for like that. What used to be Basel Fair.
Right. Basel World.
You'd get everything that was going to come out, and then it would be pretty barren, other than like the occasional like L.U.C or something. Like maybe Hodinkee would release something. But, but it was pretty dry. And now we get like cool stuff all the time.
And this, so Dubai Watch Week this year, it's the biggest it's ever been, and I can't remember the total number of brands that are participating, but it's massive. I want to say it's close to 200, but don't quote me on that. But anyways, lots of really interesting stuff if you guys have paid attention. Rob and I were taking a look at what has debuted, and we started noticing what we think are maybe some trends.
Yeah, I found it really interesting because the first thing that I saw was the Tudor Ranger. That happened to just be when I logged on to the internets. The first thing I saw was the new Tudor Ranger, now in beige.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I saw was Laurent Ferrier. I think it's a classic origin, right?
Yeah,
now
get to it.
in beige. So my question is beige the new black?
All right, so we were thinking about it, and yes, I would like you all to revel in my amazing graphic that I created. Thank you very much. Anyways, is beige the new black? So, you know, it's like, did the Swiss watch cabal get together and meet in their volcano lair at the beginning of this year and decide, vote, have a vote or whatever, and decide that beige is going to be the color of the year? Because
so there's the Tudor. We saw the Ferrier, which is rose gold beige. And then you also have in here, which were releases from earlier this year, we have the OP.
Yes, the Rolex OP that, you got the pistachio, you got the lavender, but then you also got that beige.
The beige.
And then also the Patek 5524G-010, which they call a vintage ivory, but let's be real, it's beige.
It's funny because you look at the Rolex, and your first thought is that kind of reminds me of the cream dial Explorers.
Yes,
right,
a little bit.
Where the glossy coating was flawed, and they ended up getting this kind of
panna
rich,
cotta, crazy,
beautiful color to it. And I've never had a problem with Fotina because I look at it as it's an aesthetic choice.
Yeah.
And on some watches it works really well, and on some watches it looks kind of silly.
Agreed.
But overall, I don't mind it. In this case, I don't know. I look at the beige thing and I look at the color thing in general because last year it was green.
Right. The year before,
maybe red or burgundy or something.
Was, yeah.
And it's we go through these swings now with these colors, and I love that there's color in the world because I think the world is too dull anyway.
Totally.
You look at cars on the highway,
They're
and it's all shades
black
of
or
gray.
silver. Yeah.
That's it. There is no color anymore, and I would love to bring back color of car, and even in our homes. Everything is all these neutral palettes and things. And and it's cool. I get it. But I also I like color.
I'm with you. I
like color. And I feel like beige now we're moving away from it. And it's wait a second.
I just think it's so funny that every year, again, they all meet up and they're this is going to be the color. I don't understand why. Why doesn't one brand just step out and be you know what? We're going to make purple this year. Why does it all have to be the same? It's so bizarre.
It's really weird.
It's so bizarre to me. All right, anyways.
So
beige.
What say you?
Yeah.
Thumbs up? Thumbs down?
Yeah. What's your
take
take
on? Give it to us
on,
in the comments.
What's your take on
Are you
beige?
happy with the beige illusion?
Oh, I also saw, right before we
You're just going to let that go?
I'm going to just let that go.
You're just going to move on.
The beige illusion. I don't even like that. I'm not even going to acknowledge that you said that. But I noticed another one right before we came on today. I was looking, checking on the news again, and Moser came out with a Streamliner Perpetual, I think. Perpetual Moon or Concept. I can't remember which one.
Oh, it's the Moon.
But it has a meteorite dial, but it's been treated to look like rose gold beige color. It's so
beige.
funny. It's so funny.
They can call it whatever they want. It's beige.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more beige.
All right. The next trend number 2 that we noticed is stone dial fever. Once again. Thank you. I'm happy to take commissions and create graphics for anybody who needs them.
Tremendous.
All right. So, anyways, stone dials. So now the ones that I noticed were this that you just saw, the Zenith Defy Extreme Lapis Lazuli. That's a limited edition of 50 pieces. We saw that actually back at Watches and Wonders, where for I think it's their 160th anniversary.
That watch you brought my attention to that I didn't even realize
The GFJ,
existed.
yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool. And they also did a Chronomaster with a full lapis dial as well. So they're just kind of continuing that, which is cool. Then we have on the screen right now, you would have seen the Bivet, or the Biver. I still don't know how to say his name. JC Bivet's, new-ish company. It's the Automatique collection. Their Atelier series. They came out with 7 new models, Rob. We're using 4 different stones. It's called Wheel de Fer, which is that one right there. It's that kind of like tiger's eye looking thing.
That's incredible.
Which I love.
I mean, that's a showstopper.
I agree. There's a blue quartzite, there's a lavender jade, and a mahogany obsidian. Most of them can be had with diamond indices as well, and they are expensive, Rob.
Yes, I remember that from when the plain dial ones of these came out.
That one right there, the Wheel de Fer, is 88,000 Swiss francs, which is a lot of money. And then actually, that's the cheapest one. They actually go up from there.
The Zenith is cool. I really appreciate Zenith's watchmaking prowess. I don't like that watch.
I don't either, at all.
I'm sorry, that two-tone, like, I don't know if they were going after the, like, now deceased Patek 5980 two-tone or something, but like, that one just doesn't work.
But also, why skeletonize it if you're going to put that weird blob in the middle of lapis? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And then the other watch that was actually really pretty interesting.
Those 2 LVs.
Those 2 LVs. So that it's called the... forgive me, don't come at me in the comments like you guys do every single week and give me crap for butchering French, but the Escale Ornamental Collection, okay? Escale. I don't know how to pronounce that in French. Anyways, so it's a 40 millimeter case where it's part platinum, and then the central case band is actually stone. You can kind of see it on the edge of that. So there's a turquoise and a malachite. That's the turquoise. The green is the malachite. And the case band itself is made from the stone as well. So you have the case band and the dials are both made of stone.
Cool.
Those are limited editions of just 30 pieces each.
I think LV, and we talked about this 2 weeks ago with the tambour, I think LV is really like upping their game. And I think kind of like we've seen with Bulgari. And, you're going to have to recognize them as like a serious watch manufacturer at this point. Like, they deserve it.
We didn't even get into the movements in those watches because they actually have some very interesting things going on in the movement side of those watches as well.
But that's fine.
That's fine.
Because
we have to get
I have a problem.
Oh, God.
I have a really big problem.
You don't have much time to... We need to talk about, did Omega make it worse? My answer is no, they did not. So this is the all-new Seamaster Planet Ocean. It's the 4th gen. Originally debuted in 2005. This is the 4th generation model. This, I mean, come on, guys. Like, please back me up. I think that this new one is head and shoulders better than the old one.
I don't understand this at all.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what they're trying to do here.
What do you mean?
This watch looks so confused to me, and it like
what?
That case is so strange,
Rob.
And on the rubber, like on the bracelet, it
looks great.
Kind of works. On the strap, it looks terrible.
You know what's funny? I like the strap as well. I think so. Obviously, they made the case far more angular. It's not as soft as it once was and bulbous. Like my co-host, it's chiseled and just absolutely ripped like I am. But so you've got this kind of like new typography on the dial. It's a little bit more angular as well, and then you have the updated flat link Omega bracelet, which I think personally is way better than that old rounded one.
So, no.
Wait.
Here's my thing.
Wait, one more thing, Rob. The old one was 16 millimeters thick. The new one is now 13.8. It's better. It
doesn't make it
What's your
better.
thing? What's your thing?
Go
ahead.
Better. So here's the deal. I have a deep attachment to this watch because the watch that got me into watches was the orange bezeled original 42 millimeter Planet Ocean. I was killing time in JFK, walking through duty free, and I'm like just browsing the cases there, and they had that watch sitting there, and I was like, wow, it just pulled my eye in. I couldn't get away from it. I was obsessed with that watch, and this was back, 2005 or something like that. And I was like, this is incredible. And I went and I looked it up and I saw how expensive it was, and then I cried for like a night or two because I could never afford that as a musician. But I loved that watch, and I still do. I want one, and now I feel like it is my civic duty to buy one because the new one is so bad.
You know what? Hey, Rob, just thinking about it, buddy, I think you're actually going to be pleasantly surprised because the new one is so good. Those old ones are going to get even cheaper now, buddy.
I'm going to get priced out, and I'm going to cry
not. No,
again.
you're
I'm going to have to cry a second time.
Is this going to be a new Reverso Art Deco? Am I going to have to listen to you complain that you didn't
You know
buy
what?
a Reverso Art Deco?
Maybe I need a new hill to die on. Maybe this is my new hill to die on.
I think it's great. There's no helium escape valve anymore. Like it's
that
better.
was all like I would be the first to say getting rid of the date window is a plus, but I want the old one with the date, with the useless helium escape valve, because let's face it, even if you're saturation diving, I don't know if you actually even use that stupid thing. So it's pointless, right? I'm never going to dive with it. The bracelet on that was fine. There are many Omega bracelets that needed to change. That bracelet, that case, it worked. It was Omega DNA. It felt like a Seamaster case in a Seamaster watch, and it worked. Now, we have okay, we're gonna kind of get all angular and weird, but we're also gonna do a flat link,
it's okay, buddy.
It's not right. It's
okay.
not right. And we have, it's too shiny.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not your fault, Rob.
Nope.
It's not your fault.
Nope.
All right, well, Jesus. Let me know in the let us know in the comments what you guys think, because I like it a lot. Rob clearly has some deep-seated problems that he needs to work through with this watch.
I'm not happy.
All right, well, on that, we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about our auction recap. So if you watched 2 weeks ago, or if you've caught up with our auction predictions, what we did is we looked through the catalog for the Phillips Decade 1 auction that happened, I think, 2 weeks ago, this coming Saturday.
The most impressive auction we've seen in a very long time.
One of the most ridiculous collections of lots I've ever seen auctioned off in one place. Rob and I picked 6 of our favorites that we wanted to chat about.
And the results did not disappoint.
No. Yeah, there were some wild results. And we decided to make some predictions of what we both thought watches were going to go for. We played Price is Right rules, very important to keep in mind. So closest to the actual price without going over was the brief. Let's go ahead and get right into it. The first watch that we talked about was the FP Journe Tourbillon Souverain Regency dial. I am losing the ability to speak. Okay. My prediction, $1.4 million. Robert's prediction, $1 million. Drum roll, please. The hammer was...
Wait a minute. The hammer?
Yeah, it hammered.
Yeah, but the hammer's not the price. The hammer's just the hammer.
You're right, Rob. That's what it hammered at in the room. That is what somebody in the room put their paddle up and said, right, 1745.
Nobody, unless it's like your first time, I've never done this before, thinks that you pay the hammer. Everybody knows that there is another 25 to 30% on top of that in auction house fees.
Okay, so both of our numbers, if you really want to get crazy about it, you can add back in the fees. I think hammer price makes the most sense here.
I mean, you're still closer. Don't get me wrong. You're still closer. But I just want to set up the fact that going forward, we need to consider that as like...
Rob is already finding a way to wriggle out of this. We have done one of these, and he's already complaining.
You are not playing fair.
Hey, I said $1.4 million. Yeah. I was still almost $350,000 off.
What was it with all in? What's the all in?
I don't know. I don't have that in front of me, Rob. I don't have that information. It was a lot of money. It was also in Swiss francs. So right. I did the conversion work.
Yeah, so 1.75 times 1.27. It was $2.2 million. So
insane.
That blew me out of the water. I really didn't think it was going to crest like that $2 million mark like that. I mean that was a tremendous result.
The thing is that Journe is like on fire right now. I feel like this just happens every so often, every 5 years or something, where the Journe market just goes completely bonkers.
And that tourbillon is better than the vertical tourbillon in terms of wearability. Yep. And like, if you want a Journe Turb, I feel like unless you already own one of those, you want the classic.
And it's more visually interesting, everything. Anyways, first one. Next up, this was one of Robert's picks, the Patek Philippe reference 592. Oh. Gorgeous rose watch. Cool. So cool. Robert, my prediction was $190K. Rob went with $225, and the hammer price was $433,000 US.
That's insane.
Not including fees. Not including fees. So like this one,
$550.
This one shocked both of us because this is a gorgeous watch. It's a rare watch. We know it's an important watch. but it's small. The condition isn't amazing. Like
I actually think the condition is amazing.
we talked about it.
We talked about. I think that's
like
an honest, real watch, and I think that's why somebody paid $500,000.
Maybe I don't know, but that was an absolutely insane result. That was also early in the auction. That was lot number 21. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. People were jacked up to be there. So all right, so that's one for Rob, one for me. If you're keeping score. Next up. We went ahead and talked about the Breguet Chrono reference 3237 with the lapis dial. This thing is so freaking cool. I love it so much. It's just got like all the things. We talked about it before. Whatever.
Okay.
Next. All right.
Moving on.
My prediction was $70,000. Robert went ahead and predicted $100,000.
Oh, I got this one.
Hammer price.
I got it.
$64,325. Yes.
No way.
Yes. This was so we talked about it 2 weeks ago. I did.
Even with the fees, I don't get there.
I tried to, do a lot of like critical thinking about this one. I don't know. This was a bargain. Somebody got
whoever
an
bought that
absolute
watch
bargain.
got a deal.
Lamania base caliber. Like super, super rare with that lapis. So that one's a bust. I want to say that I was the closest. I was only off by.
No, you were closest without going over.
That was a bust. I said 70,000. It went for 64.
Oh, okay. So let's not call
unless you wanna. See? Yeah, I see what you're doing here. Anyways,
I guess we'll go with the hammer.
I do want to say that I was only $5,500 off what that actually went for, but I did go over, so that one's a bust. So 1-1. All right. Next up. The Patek, reference 3424. Robert, do you want to do the honors? Because again, this is another one that I got yelled at for mispronouncing.
The Gilbert Albert.
I hate that so much. The Gilbert Albert. The Gilbert Albert. I said 325.
The man's a legend. It doesn't matter how you say his name.
Rob said 500. The actual price was $791 without fees. Crazy. Yeah.
And I'm not surprised. Worth every penny.
I'm not surprised either.
Worth every penny.
Gorgeous watch.
History, artistry, Patek Philippe, all in one package. Whoever bought it, bravo. You deserve it. Enjoy it.
It absolutely obliterated the old record for a Gilbert Albert.
Or a Gilbert Albert.
Or a Gilbert Albert too, both of them. But just insane piece. Such a cool one. Really, actually, honestly, I was very excited to see that go as strong as it did. Very, very cool.
Yeah, it deserves it.
Okay.
Every penny.
Rob 2, Justin 1. Now, this Rolex Sea Dweller, Polipetto, I went ahead and said, because I think I was high or something, I don't know what you put in my drink, I said $350,000.
Yeah.
Robert, you said $200,000. Actual hammer price, $173,287. We both busted.
But
nope.
Hold, please.
No.
Hold on.
No. You were This is a bust, my friend.
173,287.
This is a bust, my friend.
220.
No.
All in.
No. Bust. That one, really cool watch. Still a ton of money for $175,000 for a Rolex. Like, very rare, very special.
Cool watch,
though.
Very cool watch, cool story. And if you have any kind of connection to that, or you're a collector of dive watches, or military watches, or whatever it may be,
or
that
octopus.
can be... that could be a centerpiece of a collection. So I think it's very cool. And to get a new old stock one like that and everything.
Super cool.
Something you'll only get at auction. There's no other way to get it.
No, you're right. That would never just turn up. Okay, final one. This was an absolute monster watch that we both were like just losing our mind over. The Rolex Daytona reference 6269 Canjar with diamond bezel, full pave dial with the sapphire indices we don't have a photo of it, but on the back, red enamel Canjar because it was delivered to the court of the Sultan of Oman.
To see off-menu stuff from this generation.
Agreed. So my prediction was $1.35 million, Robert. Your prediction, $1.5 million. Actual retail price, $1.42 million. Robert, I think I won that one, my friend.
I'm thinking about how much somebody will pay, not how much somebody will hammer before the fees.
Doesn't matter, buddy.
Pedantic.
You're over. Also,
I am not. All-in price was 1.8.
Rob, no, Jesus.
I win.
So that is 2 each with 2 busts and one that we were each closer in on the bus. So somehow we actually managed to split it right down the middle and prove that we might know what we're talking about. I don't know.
You know what though? Auctions are always a tough thing to gauge. And it's even a hard thing, like people ask us sometimes when we're like making offers on watches or pricing our own watches, they'll say, oh, but one went at auction for this price. And the tough thing about auctions is like who's in the room,
right? Who's
bidding, who can bid that day.
How many martinis has that one guy had in the back corner? Like it really is, it's so like absolute, moment in time specific that
we have seen both things sell for far more than they should, and we have seen things sell for far less than they should.
Yes.
And then they come back to auction again in a couple years, and the result is drastically different, right? We've seen very important watches that sold very expensive, like maybe 5 years before, they come back to auction, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, it's like half what it sold for the first time.
Right.
And it's like, who's to say which one is like the correct valuation and whatever? There's too many factors at play. So I think auctions are fantastic to look at. I think they do set a lot of precedent, but you also do have to take them with a grain of salt.
Absolutely. But anyways, you guys should go back and check out some of the other results from that auction, because again, like we didn't talk about the $24.99. We didn't talk about, there were a couple 1518s in there. Like we didn't talk about a lot of it, and it was just monster stuff.
You couldn't. We'd spend more than a whole show just talking about lots of that auction.
Kudos to RL and the team, because they put together a ridiculous auction. So that was a lot of fun. Thanks for playing along. All right. With our final 13 minutes, Rob.
We're perfect.
We are nailing this week. I am proud of us.
Yeah.
I am proud of
really
us.
Good.
We're going to go ahead and talk about our personal top 3 favorite Vacheron models of all time.
I have 3.
You actually have 3 this time? If you remember.
I was sent a document that I had to populate, and so I actually put forethought into this. So I have 3 watches this time, and I think I go first.
You do go first. I'm giving you the honors, Rob.
So, and this is very funny because I didn't think about this as I was putting this list together. I just thought if somebody asked me what are the 3 best Vacherons in your opinion, these are what I came up with.
Yeah.
And my first one. Oh no, sorry, my second one is a jump hour. I was going to say my first one is a jump hour. So my first one is actually like not like an unapproachable like grail piece. This is the 47101.
I was really surprised that you picked this, to be honest.
Dude, it's because if you said to me, what's the one Vacheron you really want to own? It's this one. I've loved this watch from the first time I saw it. This is an old school Lamania-based 2-register dress chrono. I think it's 37 millimeters or 36 millimeters. It's got these nice little flared lugs to it. It's got like a very old school feel, stick markers, baton hands. It's just, there's something about this, like if I was gonna buy a chrono, that's what I want. They made it in yellow, they made it in platinum, they made a few that are platinum salmon, which you can't find. Cool. They made some platinum with Guichet that's also really pretty.
Yeah, we've seen that.
It goes by 47101. Sometimes they're listed as 47101. Sometimes they have both references. I don't know what Vacheron was doing, but they're all out there.
It was the 80s.
It's not a crazy watch, money-wise. They're very approachable. They're cheaper than a 5070.
Way cheaper
and in
than a
my
5070.
opinion, they kind of wear better than a 5070. Like, to me, that's Vacheron, man. It's kind of like the ultra-thin 1955 we looked at last week. It's elegant, it's understated, it's an old school Swiss watch.
What a cool way to get into a Lamania-based chrono. Like, very, very cool. Yeah, I'm surprised though. I'm surprised. I thought you would have gone like one of the Corne de Vache models or something.
Well, that kind of became Corne de Vache, right?
It did.
And I don't know. I like that better. I would take that over one of the modern ones.
Okay, all right.
Then I picked a jump hour.
I'm mad that I didn't pick this.
Yeah, you should be.
I know.
This is the Saltarello jump hour, and this is the retrograde. So this has this awesome TV-shaped case. I've never had one of these in my hands. We've never had one here while I've been working at the store.
I was going to say, when I looked at our database, which I think goes back to 2009, right?
07.
07, jeez. We've had, or EWC has had, I think, like 3 over the years.
Wow.
And nothing since you and I have worked here,
no,
obviously.
In the 10 years I've been here, I've never seen one.
Yeah, I know.
But to me, like TV-shaped case, cool lugs. Look at the little like step on the lugs, and then a retrograde minute, jump hour at the top. Like,
look at the decoration on that movement, on the
automatic
rotor,
movement.
Obviously hand engraving. And also I love, so one thing that totally caught my eye is this isn't just like an engraved sunray pattern, because you get this funky, like, weird distortion around the retrograde hand
in the middle there.
But the way that they managed to do it's almost like like I'm on an acid trip or something. Like the way that they made it all kind of like swirly. I don't know.
A magic eye.
It is like a magic eye. You're right. Yeah, I see the Eiffel Tower there, Rob. But yeah,
I love it.
Very, very cool. Very cool watch.
Yeah. And then my third one,
which is another, I will have to say, Rob, excellent pick.
I went to the Justin playbook for this one.
did.
This is a Patrimony perpetual repeater, the reference 30020. We were fortunate enough to have two of these in our stock, and on both of them, I was absolutely blown away, because this is kind of like the 5004.
Yep.
Where it has this funky case proportion, and it has this beautifully sculptured case, and it's like there's something about this. Again, this feels like an old school Swiss watch. This is like the kind of thing where it's like, oh, Grandpa had this watch, and I don't know, I think it's kind of nice. And it doesn't have a display back. It doesn't have all the like craziness to it, but it does have the bells and whistles because it has a repeater that sounds incredible. It is a classic perpetual calendar. It has no seconds hands.
You know what's interesting is that, like, you could tell me that this watch was from 1965 or 1995, which this is actually from the 90s.
Yeah.
And, it wouldn't seem strange. Like, this is such a classic, but somehow still modern, piece with those sculptured lugs that kind of, like that 47101. Like,
Oh, it's the
Vacheron's
same,
known for. It's the same
era.
design language. Yeah. We've had, like you said, two of these, and I think it was now maybe 2 years ago or something, I bought it from a client, and then we ended up selling it. And when we did like a year-end, like retrospective or whatever, that was my favorite watch of the year. And at the time, I had never really paid much attention to Vacheron. When I thought of Vacheron, I thought of overseas. I thought of pieces that didn't really speak to me very much.
Right.
And like in the years since now, Vacheron is really like, it's like my respect for the brand and my love for the brand has really grown now, and it's really like, for me, I'm really jacked up on Vacheron these days. Like I really like what they're doing. I love finding stuff like that from the back catalog. Like
I mean, with most brands, I generally tend to err on the side of the old stuff.
Same.
Especially like these like 90s, early 2000s watches. I think a lot of brands, for me, design language, that speaks to me the most. And so I'm really drawn to that. And I think that the fact that you can get that for way less than you would pay for a Patek perpetual repeater, and
that's
still get a Holy Trinity brand and still get a really discreet, beautifully wearable watch.
Yeah.
I mean,
so like just quickly back to that the minute repeater, the 30020, like that is at such a ridiculous discount to the Patek version of that watch.
Yes, because that would be the 3974.
Right.
Which those are what, 700, 750, something like that?
Yeah, they're north of that these days. So like,
it's a lot of money.
Super, super cool.
Yeah.
All right. I can't believe that I'm saying this, but Rob did a good job. He actually picked 3 really good watches. All right. So it's really funny, but I was thinking about it, and like, I don't normally, like, you wouldn't normally think of Vacheron as this like company that makes weird watches, but like you've already shown, you picked a couple of weird watches, especially the Saltarello, and like my list is really weird as well. So like, it's a brand that's been in, they've been around since what, 1755, and like.
If you hadn't picked one of the ones on your list, that would have been on my list.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, so first up on my list is the 222. So I really skew more towards the vintage 222 than I do the new one, but I do really respect the new ones as well. So
they did a good job on bringing that watch back.
They did an incredible job. So the 222 was released in 1977 to celebrate the brand's 222nd anniversary, which like boggles the mind. It's crazy that this company has been in operation for that long. It obviously followed the Nautilus and the Royal Oak earlier in the decade. And, it was Vacheron's version of a high-end integrated bracelet sport watch.
I think this is the most 70s of all of them.
And that's what I was going to say is that, obviously I have a Royal Oak. I love it. I respect the Nautilus. but there's something about how funky and weird the 222 is that just like really grabs me with that postage stamp bezel.
To me, that's cooler than the whole Maltese cross thing that they do on the
overseas.
I think that for continuity's sake, that's really clever, and I applaud them for that. But this weird postage stamp thing is like, it's so cool.
Well, and then the bracelet itself, like if you haven't ever handled one, it's almost like what I imagine an armadillo shell feels like. You know what I mean? Like it's so different than any other like bracelet watch out there.
And that little cross, the Maltese cross there at 5 o'clock. Like,
on those super flat tops of the lugs, like very cool. It's super rare. They only made it from 77 to, the original, from 77 to 85. And like roughly somewhere in the range of 500 to 700 examples of the jumbos were made in total. Obviously, it's the inspiration, kind of the genesis of the modern overseas, you know, that clearly the design language translates. But
it also doesn't.
It also doesn't. This is so much better. And I'm so glad that they brought it back. You know, the gold in 2022 and then the steel this year. This steel blue is killer.
They just need to do the steel with like the gray, like the original one.
I
think that'd
or
be so much
two-tone
cooler.
would be cool too.
If they made it two-tone.
Very cool. Okay, that's my number one pick.
Love it.
Number two is the 1921. I love both the vintage and the historique, you know, the new historique model. So, you know, if you're familiar with like what I'm into and what I love a good story. I love something that is just like weird for the sake of being weird.
You're also a car guy.
I'm also a car guy, exactly.
And this is a driver's watch.
It is. So, you know, this is based, the modern one is, and we're showing a vintage ones on the screen right now. It's based on a small run of literally just a few dozen watches that were produced between 1921 and 1931. And the whole idea was, the reason why it's offset like that, the story goes at least, I don't know how, you know, if it's apocryphal or what, but it was supposedly a driver's watch, and the dial was canted over that way to make it easier to read the time while your hands were on the wheel.
Because you'd wear it on the inside of your wrist.
Right.
And while holding your hands on the wheel,
you could look down.
You wouldn't have to take your hand off the wheel to see the time.
Right.
Because you're holding it like this.
Steering wheel like
you've got it here like that, and you can like see it, and it's there, and the 12 is pointed to the top.
Right. So they brought, you know, obviously that was a model from the 20s into like the early 30s. They brought it back in 2015. Now the line has expanded. There's a few different metals. You have the rose, the white. There's a platinum version. You have a couple different sizes now, which is great.
There's the 36. They did a smaller size. Because a lot of people, that was their one complaint, was that they loved it, but it was too big. So they made a mid-size that has done really well.
It has done incredibly well. And I love the typography on the dial. It's so deco. You know, those numerals are incredible. The shape, the deco vibe, the story, like it's just a really cool, interesting piece. So that's my number two.
And it's a great movement. I had that movement in a Patrimony Traditionnel that I wore for like maybe 2 years straight as a daily, and it ran beautifully. Ran like a fine Swiss watch.
I mean, it's a time-only watch, so it should. But
I mean, still, it's these in-house movements. As a lot of brands went towards in-house movements, which Vacheron was very late to the game.
They were.
Sometimes the in-house movement is not as good as the old like Jaeger or ETA or whatever that they put in it. But with Vacheron, they did a really good job.
They did.
So.
All right.
Worth noting.
Last one.
And the best one.
And
that
I
you
agree.
Have picked.
Oh, please. The best one. The Mercator. So, again, funky, so weird. And like this is another one that I love the story on. So if you're not familiar, the Mercator model launched in 1994, and this is like the weirdest thing ever. It was created to honor the achievements of a Flemish mathematician and cartographer named Gerardus Mercator. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not Flemish. On the
Shame on you, Justin.
I know. I'm sure I need to be more guttural. On the 400th anniversary of his death. So like, what? Why? It's so weird. It doesn't make any sense. And like Mercator, like he was again a mathematician and a map maker, and he was known for what's called a Mercator projection, which is, you know, I'm sure you've all seen it, but that like two-dimensional view of the globe with longitude and latitude overlaid on it. So it was just a new, you know, back in whatever, 1594 or whatever the hell it was just a totally new conceptual way to visualize the Earth and a map. But the watch is so interesting. Like it features such interesting dials, first of all. Enamel dials. They've made a whole bunch of different, you know, like we're showing on the screen, you know, you have all different maps. And then the twin retrograde hands are in the shape of a compass, a map maker's compass, essentially. So you have, the hours on the left there and the minutes on the right.
Right. It's like a mathematical compass, not a north, south,
correct,
west.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. If you remember doing, hypotenuses and diameters, all that good stuff in geography or whatever in
geometry.
Geometry. Thank you.
That G.
Geography, geometry. It's the same thing.
Well, there's both on this watch.
I know.
Both.
That's my problem here. So, anyways, they made it from 94 to 04, less than 650.
Really? 10 years.
10 years.
And yet, I've only seen one while I
Well, so I was going to say, but less than 650 were made in total, making it, obviously insanely rare. It's just so weird. It's so weird.
I've heard that the movement is bananas.
Really?
Too. In order to do this double retrograde thing with the pivot up high,
I was going to say, with this, the very high...
apparently, trying to work on that watch is not easy. Which I would imagine.
I would love to have one, though. So,
it'd be so cool.
We didn't have one while I've been here, so it must have been
No, there was one the first year I worked here.
Yeah.
2016,
wow.
We had one. And it was I was very green, and I didn't get to spend the time I wanted with it, because I also wasn't full-time sales at that point.
Right.
So, but I remembered it being here, and I remember it going and thinking, man, I can't wait to see another one of those, because that was cool. And here we are 10 years
I was going to say, I started in 2017,
one.
And we still have not seen one. I've never handled one. I really want to see one, because they're just weird and cool. But anyways, those are my three.
Yeah.
And really, we could have both probably picked another three easily that would have been in our top list.
There were a couple of things I was debating about, but I'm very happy with the three that I picked, because I think
Good for you.
I think it shows the range and the scope of Vacheron. It shows that they can make something fairly simple and make it very cool, and kind of the same for your 1921, right?
Totally.
It's a time-only watch, but there's a cool story.
Yep.
There's a cool design element. There's everything about it is really interesting. And then all the way up to they can make perpetual calendar repeaters that are worthy of Trinity brand status, even though the price might not look at that right now. But I think that will change as time goes on, and people will eventually look at that watch and be like, man, that was a monster watch from one of the biggest houses in history.
One of the oldest, one of the biggest, one of the most important.
Vacheron.
But yeah, who knew that Vacheron made funky stuff?
What brand should we do next?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. Send us messages. Leave us comments. We love it.
Yeah.
We love to hear from you, even when you're ripping on our pronunciation.
Yeah, actually, please come at me for all my bad pronunciation. I really appreciate it. Anyways, though, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thanks for picking the no, it was Lafroig. My bad.
Lafroig.
It was delicious. This was a fun one. We'll be back in 2 weeks for another show. Have a great Thanksgiving, and yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you all.
See
Good
ya.
night.